again for tuning in to the Funny Business Podcast, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. Thanks for tuning in once again. We are rolling through these episodes, already on episode 8. Mike, can you believe it?
I really can't believe it, Matt, and especially for just our schedules in general. I know we're kind of still condensed. For those of you who are watching our YouTube video right now, Matt is on vacation right now, so he actually took the time to do the podcast today. So, Matt, I actually have to thank you as a co-host for taking the time to do something, but it's a nice little change of scenery.
You know, the grind don't stop. The show must go on. This was an impromptu thing, not like I had this planned out, but it's nice to take some time away from vacation to, have a little bit of reality in my life.
A little bit of reality, meaning your podcast.
Even though I did have to come off the beach early today, it'll be worth it.
Man, you should have done it on the beach, man.
That may have not has gone too well, but maybe we can try it later on.
I mean, like SGS would say, like life's a beach. You're just playing in the sand, man. So.
Exactly. Best plays on earth.
All right, Matt. So I guess we'll get into some today's topics. I brought some unique ones for the entertainment section for today. If it's the first time you're listening, welcome. The first half is all about entertainment and all these weird things I find on the internet. And the second half we throw into sports. So starting off today, Matt, I think this is one of my most unique ones because it's more of a challenge for us, but it also is just kind of like a little conversation. Matt and I are obviously addicted to TikTok. I think for all of you who are aware, Matt makes a lot more TikToks than I do. My own father has more views and likes on TikTok than myself, but
and then me, and also more than me.
Yeah, and more than Matt. So
but I'm not salty. I'm not salty. A little bit.
Only a little.
A little bit.
But especially with TikTok coming along, I think what Matt and I have been seeing actually is Vine videos making a comeback in some of the videos that we've been seeing.
It's funny because I never really had Vine when it was a thing. I didn't have the app. I just kind of learned about Vine after it died. So it's kind of cool that the Vine era is coming back into the TikTok era because now I get to experience both at once.
Mm-hmm. So I can't even or can I ask you do you have a favorite Vine, or did you find a Vine through TikTok that's your favorite TikTok Vine?
I do have a favorite Vine. I saw it before TikTok. It's the little girl when she's looking at the ducks and she turns and goes, "Look at all those chickens." It's just, I don't know why. This the way she says it, I just crack up hysterically every time.
And especially too, I think what I saw, Matt, and I think I even sent it to you to continue our snap streak, is somebody filmed her on TikTok of famous person going to your school check, and it was her, the girl who said, "Look at all those chickens."
There's a lot of Vine stars that do have TikToks. Trey, everyone remembers
Trey Kennedy.
Kennedy, yep. The basketball Trey. Hi, my name is Trey. I got a basketball game tomorrow. He was on TikTok. Someone recorded something I wonder how his game went on TikTok. And he did a duet with it, and it was I scored 15 points, had 5 assists, something that we never would have found out if it wasn't for TikTok.
I forget his name, Matt, but for those who know Vine very well, there is a dude who made a return, and it is Wednesday, my dude. Oh.
The GOAT.
Literally, I was scrolling through my For You page, and I literally saw him, and I'm like, oh my god, he's back, and
He does school speakings.
He goes to speaking engagements? He literally gets paid to speak at a school.
Yeah, he did that at a middle school or high school a month or so ago, I saw. I don't know what exactly he talks to them about, but at the end, sometimes the kids ask him to do it and he'll actually do it. Which is just
I'm surprised.
Awesome.
I'm surprised with the generation, I should say, the fact that middle school kids now are asking him to do that. So, is it more so, the kids knew what Vine was and saw him on YouTube and saw, the Vine videos, the compilations on YouTube? Or is it more that people are finding him on TikTok now and that it's kind of working out that way where people are finding him on TikTok rather than Vine?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, YouTube is obviously huge, and people can look up videos from forever ago. But I'm sure he wouldn't be doing these speakings as much. Maybe if it wasn't for TikTok, I don't know. I don't necessarily follow a lot of what he posts, but I'm sure it's fire because it's he's got one of the most famous TikTok or vines of all time.
What I'm also seeing, Matt, too, is there's a trend on TikTok going around is that there are poems. I'll say generally poems, but more commonly it's the roses are red. And the second line is usually violets are blue, but it sometimes gets, I guess, adjusted a little bit towards the videos. And it's almost a surprise to everyone as far as how they tie in the poem with the video that is the result of it. And we see a lot of the vines, the guy who almost dropped his croissant. I almost said he did, but he almost did. But even so, like, we're seeing a lot of these vines make a comeback. And, I think a lot of us, when we talk about TikTok, we really reference Vine as far as the, something similar to what the platform is. I mean, very small bite-sized videos, but they're not, it's definitely more than 6 seconds. Unlike Vine was 6 seconds, which was like even more interesting because there's always been that thing like, oh, your attention span is less of more of than a goldfish. And now we're sitting here through minute-long videos, and sometimes those things tick me off. When I saw one last night, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I got a whole minute to do this TikTok. Maybe I should do this. And it was like literally him turning this like aesthetically pleasing like contraption that like kind of looped through and went through the ways, and like he literally did it at the last 3 seconds of the video. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm literally laying down here trying to get sleep, but yeah, I'm scrolling through TikTok, and you wasted a minute of my life not even doing it.
You know what's even worse than that is when you get to the end of the video and someone's telling a story and then they go like for part 2 and then they don't put part 2 out for like a week. It's like, don't stop. Like that is the worst thing you could do on TikTok. Like just please don't do that.
Have you ever gotten it's not the health warnings, but they're more so of just like the advisory videos that like some TikTok celebrities do, being like, hey, you may have watched too much TikTok. Maybe go outside, have a snack, maybe have some dinner if you haven't had it yet. Have you had those?
Yeah, and then it makes you think, like, wait, how long have I actually been on TikTok for? Like, what am I doing with my life right now? Like, what else better could I be doing?
Have you checked your screen time yet to see if TikTok has toppled over anything yet?
Oh, it has, by far.
It has.
Yeah, I haven't been on TikTok as much lately the past few weeks, but, like, when it first came out and, like, when quarantine first started, it was, like, 60% of my screen time.
Yeah. So I think, Matt, to wrap up this segment for the entertainment of About Vine, I feel like we should just literally name off, going back and forth, vines that we know. Oh. And it's not a game where it's like, oh, well, if you repeat me, you lose. But like, I feel like we should just go back and forth until we just like can't anymore.
I think we can do that because we were roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
I just found out about that one like a couple of years ago. I actually didn't even know that was a Vine, to be fair.
And that's so fitting for the both of us.
It really is. Some other good ones.
Matt, did you drive by any road work ahead signs?
That's a classic one. I did that on the way here on vacation. Yeah, road work. I was like, oh, I sure hope it does.
I sure hope it does.
I didn't run into anyone named Kyle, so I didn't have to have any interactions with Kyle. Ask him what the heck is up, Kyle.
What the heck is up, Kyle?
Step up.
Oh my gosh. What's another one? It's like, what's up? I got it. I think he says like, it's Friday. I got my hat on backwards and I'm ready to effing party. And he hits like the garage door on his forehead.
Oh my gosh. I really wish I had Vine. Like looking back on all of these.
You know, I actually did some Vines myself, Matt, and I actually gained, I don't want to say it was popularity because it was the minimum of popularity, but I actually hit off some of my videos pretty well. A little story to share because I actually have it still on my hard drive here at my house because I like save all my videos that I do because that's just a thing that I do. I'm sure you do it naturally too when you save your TikToks.
TikTok they save automatically on my camera when I post them.
Yeah, so one of them was about Now here we go. Here's time to date us, Matt. The 50 Shades. So 50
geez.
Shades Darker was, or is that 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed. I saw all three of them, so that's how
I saw two.
Did you see them? You saw two of the three.
Yeah.
Third one was fantastic. Believe it or not.
That's the one I haven't seen yet. I wanted to. I just haven't gotten around to it.
The first one is all about sex. The second one has sex with a story, and the third one is actually the story between them. So, but it was I did like the two different almost like personalities. Like there was two of us, but really I just played both of them. And I had a higher pitched voice, and it was like, oh, can we go see 50 Shades? And I turn around at my desk, and I was like, oh, sure, I got them right here. And it's literally all 50 Shades of Grey, like legit 50 Shades of Grey on a piece of paper.
That's awesome.
And it was Pony by, I think Genuine is his like artist name. And it, like I had like the, the 420 blaze that sunglasses come down on my face. Like you just got burned.
That's classic.
I should put that under social media because that would be a nice little revisit for that.
Absolutely.
So, any final ones to throw off? Or
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
The one you say often.
Yeah, which one do you have?
The one you say often is I got the power of God and anime by my side.
No, that's a great one. You can use that in so many situations, and people just laugh because it's Vine.
I hope some of our listeners are like, what the heck are they talking about with this Vine thing? I mean, Matt, when we played Fortnite and Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up came out, and people were getting so upset about the fact that it was a stupid emote, and we're like, wow, we're really old here.
We all just got Rickrolled.
But like even like the kids had no idea what Rickrolling was all about besides us. So, really comes to show as far as how old we're getting and how washed up we are as two individuals out of college. Well, mostly out of college.
But if anyone has any other favorite Vines that we missed, let us know, and we'll put it out there for the people to see.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to the next topic, Matt. You kind of saw it in our show notes for today, but it's a little weird. I'll be completely honest before things got a little sexy, these next two topics, and I really don't mean that in the more positive way.
I can't believe that was a real this is a real headline.
Yeah, it's a real headline. So Matt, I'm sure, and I'm not going to say, I'm sure you've experienced this because you haven't.
I hope I haven't.
Let me preface this. I'm sure you've experienced some unusual situations or some surprises that necessarily your friends decided to prank you on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Sometimes I've done the pranking. Sometimes I've been pranked.
Yeah. Awful segue. It's just I'll just leave it out there. Just a complete awful segue as far as getting that out there. But the headline for this story is that a pair hired for man's broom sexual fantasy turn up in bedroom at wrong address with machetes.
That's a lot to handle in one sentence. That is so much. That's
literally the headline. That is literally the headline. So, pulling this from SkyNews.com, two men snuck into a bedroom with machetes after being hired to carry out a stranger's sexual fantasy of being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom, only to discover they had got the wrong address.
All right. So, first of all, you can't get the address wrong. Like that's worse than what Tom Brady did that we touched on like 2 episodes ago. Like if you're doing this, first of all, get help. Second of all, make sure you're going to the right house. Why did they have the machetes? I don't understand the machete part.
So the setting in this is actually in Sydney, Australia. So
okay, that makes a little more sense.
Sure. It's one of the men, Terrence Roy, has now been acquitted of entering the home in July 2019, intending to intimidate while armed with an offensive weapon. Wait, so he actually had a an account towards him as far as him going through this stuff? What is this story?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did they have the machetes? Like, weren't they supposed to bring brooms, or did the dude have the brooms and they just happened? Like, why the machetes? Were they like? Was it like a sting operation?
I don't even. I'm like trying to read here and trying to go through and seeing exactly what
It's
the judge.
It's the weirdest story I've ever heard in my life.
The poor judge. He literally goes, the facts of the case are unusual. And he set out reasons for the not guilty verdict, saying evidence did not suggest the men's actions were intentional.
That's probably true, but at the same time, like, why would you break into someone's house, whether they know you're coming or not, with a machete?
Yeah, so they carried the machetes either as a prop or something to use that fantasy. So that fantasizes it. The fantasy was unscripted, and there was direction as to how it would be carried out. So let me get this straight. You bring a machete to someone's house, a stranger's house, and if you literally said, "Oh well, I'm just using this towards a script," and like I can't even like situate myself in this position of somebody coming at my house and with a machete, and apparently it's a sexual fantasy.
I don't understand, like, what the hell, like, it's a broom. Like, how does that, I mean, I guess I'll never understand, but, like,
we won't.
Wouldn't it hurt, like, if it's, I don't, it's a weird thing to think about.
Are you trying to fantasize it?
No, I'm trying to, I don't know what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to, like, it's, how does it, I just don't understand, like, it's a broom.
Yeah,
Just got, like, use a feather or something, that's a little more soft.
I mean, Matt, we know how people are with feet. I'm not saying we know personally with how people are with feet, but that's like, you have foot fetishes and you have all these things. I can't believe we're going in this deep in this podcast with this type of talk, but
only in Australia, man.
Only down under with the bobbies and the. I really just like
the shrimp and
set
the
myself up. Shrimp and the bobbies. Talk about some discrimination.
I think
our Australian audience here.
I think every episode we have a story, and I keep saying this is the strangest story of quarantine. I actually made it this time. This is the strangest story of quarantine that we will have, hands down, and it's probably almost the end of quarantine. So this will take the cake.
Matt, I'm gonna keep finding them. I'm gonna keep finding these stories, and you're just gonna have to go through them.
I don't think it's gonna get weirder than this, man. A broom fantasy with machetes.
I mean, like, okay, going back on the 50 Shades of Grey thing, like, I've seen handcuffs, I've seen rope, I've seen plugs, trying not to be too discreet here, but, I've seen a lot of stuff in movies, and I've seen a lot of stuff in those 50 Shades of Grey things that, like, are kind of like, all right, that's not too comfortable for me, but like it's a little eye-opening as far as what type of fantasies individuals are interested in as far as that.
Could you imagine being the guy whose house got broken into? Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you have machetes? Like, oh, sorry, we were trying to go to the other house for this broom fantasy. Guys, like, what the hell? Like, I would have thought they would have been on, like, meth or something. Like, there's no way that the guy whose house they broke into, like, bought that story until, like, the police actually came to figure it out.
You guys want some, like, tea or, like, cookies or, like, some food, like, for the meantime? Like,
and also, it's Australia. Like, they could have easily gotten shot for breaking into the house with a machete. Like, those guys are actually lucky. On a serious note.
I mean, serious note. Anybody who's been in United States, all over the world, coming in the fact of 2 machetes and coming into your house in the middle of the night, like, that's like a horror movie of all things. Like,
yeah, legit is, but whatever floats your boat, I guess.
I know. Oh my goodness. I can't even picture just the reaction that what's his face? The individual that was basically scared. Like, I can't even imagine the face that he made as far as him being scared of that whole situation. So
I just can't believe this is a real story. It's insane.
There's more stuff. I'm sorry, Matt. I felt I'm horrible as hosting the entertainment segment because it literally had like a break between the links as far as more from Australia, and I don't even want to go there. But but there actually was more. Oh God. Oh, no. So he had made arrangements with the man on Facebook for people to engage in the role play, sent his address, And before he updated it, moving a house more than 30 miles away. So that's the reason why the screw up happened.
Interesting. So it's almost like he didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
So this guy must be hiding something.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's turned up at the wrong house. Noticed a light on in his lounge at around 6:15. He assured it was a friend who visits daily to make coffee. He said he called out and it says expletive off. I'm going to say buzz off. It's too early. After hearing a voice asking, "Is your name Kevin?" the man said he turned his light on to see the two men he did not recognize standing next to his bed, both holding machetes.
That's like looking up and seeing the Grim Reaper, dude. Could you imagine?
Hi, Kevin.
I would have actually had a heart attack. Jeez, that's insane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Oh
eventually accepting the error, the duo then left, one saying, "Sorry, mate," and shaking the resident's hand while the other said bye.
Oh my gosh. I would have given the guy $20 and been like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. Don't tell anyone."
Police arrived and it's
The saying's always what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think it's now what happens in Australia stays in Australia.
No, what happens down under stays down under.
That too. Oh my god.
But to kind of wrap up this segment, because I don't even think we could even go any further, but Leroy's lawyer. So what I'm assuming is with that connection, Leroy was the individual that wanted to be fantasized with said night. So his lawyer said it was a commercial agreement to oh god, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. It was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom. Entry was not with intent to intimidate. So talk about a lawyer there.
I'm glad he had underwear on, because that could have gotten very dangerous for him if something slipped. Just saying.
You know how it is, Matt. What happens in showbiz stays in showbiz. Or that's showbiz, baby.
This guy needs to get help.
Yeah, I think a lot of them do.
Everybody. Especially the guy whose house got broken into. He's probably traumatized.
So if you have a fantasy... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to ask that.
No. Cut that.
Oh, gosh. Well, moving on to our final segment for today. Matt, this is something you can actually relate to a little bit more. It's about at a strip club. So nope. I know you've been to play.
Nope, false. Don't spread. Mom, if you're listening to this, I've never been to a strip club. I just want to put that out there.
Never forced you. Never did it. We never did it together. Let's put it that way. We've never been to a strip club yet. No. But so speaking of the coronavirus, Mr. Matt, I should say. Matt actually changed all his social medias this past couple weeks. So
I did.
I can't call him Matthew anymore. I got to call him Matt. So, but as we know, we're still in the quarantine recording mode of this podcast. So hopefully we will be able to unite in doing a live podcast for once. And, we'll see what happens. But we're doing what we're doing. And, some other companies and businesses are doing what they're doing. This one strip club is currently offering drive-through service during the U.S. lockdown. It was reported by an NBC News reporter that a strip club in Portland, Oregon has found a novel way to stay afloat during the coronavirus pandemic. It's a drive-through, my friend.
I mean, you got to make money somehow.
Oh my gosh, are you ready to hear this?
Oh,
so it is the Lucky Devil Lounge. It transformed itself into Lucky Devil Eats.
Oh, ooh.
The dancers deliver food and food to go. A drive-up service where takeout orders come with an in-car experience that includes performances, music, and lights under canopies.
The food to go is that's a great slogan right there. I think this is, like I said, I've never been to a strip club. I don't think I ever plan on going. This is where I cross the line. This is a little too much for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it depends on how expensive the food is.
Yeah, I you know what? I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna look it up to see what is it? The Lucky Devil Lounge. Wow, that actually showed up pretty quickly.
I bet they actually got pretty good business.
Yeah, I mean, just with the idea. Oh, food and drink menu. All right, let's see here. Okay. What are you fancying, Matt? Pastas.
They have pastas.
Pasta. Burgers and sandwiches, salads. What else is another thing? Drink. So you could get drink menus too. While on the go. I'm not sure how that works out, but
I wonder how many people actually got a salad through the drive-through strip club. You're just sitting there eating some chicken Alfredo.
Matt, what are you fancying here at this restaurant? What are you feeling like here?
Well, maybe if they offer like a free cheeseburger from like 11 to 12.
You're always about the freebie stuff.
Yeah.
So the most expensive item for a burger is called the Lucky Devil Bacon Burger. It's served with your choice of fries, tater tots, super salad. Oh my God. We're a bunch of 12-year-olds. So the Lucky Devil Bacon Burger is a half-pound prime Angus beef with lettuce, tomato, mayo, onion, cheese, and bacon.
That actually sounds pretty good.
It's $12.
That's not bad.
And then the next expensive item is called the Daddy Burger, and it's $12 as well. And it gives you a 4th pound of prime Angus beef with barbecue pulled pork over hard egg, cheddar, and blue cheese, chipotle mayo, lettuce, and tomato. Actually, it doesn't sound that bad.
Damn.
I just don't like the fact that it is in a strip club.
So do you only pay for the food, or do you pay for, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I'm like seeing a bunch of the photos, and it looks like the club itself is kind of like, I guess the performers, the entertainers, let's be appropriate here, the entertainers, there's a tip jar that actually is like outside, so like it's kind of like a drive-through. So like think about it, you order your food, you pay for your food, you pick up your food. The last leg is if you want to show. And literally it's outside, and I see a picture with the lady. There's like a barricade that has the bucket that you can tip the lady. And what I was also reading too, Matt, is that the fact that there actually is no nudity in this sense now. So you're not going to see any topless performers performing outside this Lucky Devil Lounge here. So
That's actually not a terrible business idea. I mean, you got to keep making money somehow. And if, restaurants could do drive-through, you got to think outside the box, and that's what these people did. So I don't really blame them. I mean, they have to make money somehow.
Strippers.
Yeah.
They also they have grilled chicken Alfredo too. I'm like curious about. I'm just going through this menu, man. Like,
how many people do you think didn't stay for the show? Like, just got the food and left? There's probably at least a small handful.
Yeah, I could. See, Matt, I guess it really depends. Oh, my God.
Like the dad just goes out like, honey, I'm going to go grab food, and is gone for like 45 minutes.
I'm glad that like I'm kind of searching through this, because now I'm looking there. They actually had a food to go commercial. So they actually had a commercial. No. Oh, gosh, what is his name? There was a not a late show. Oh, the Daily Show. Oh, my gosh, what is his name? Wow, he's on Comedy Central. Oh,
Trevor Noah?
Trevor Noah. Yeah, Trevor Noah featured them in a thing.
Wow.
So what I was saying, Matt, is that I guess really it depends on the time of the day. I don't think anybody's going to be going through drive-through at 3 o'clock and hoping for a performance. I feel like those late nights when people are like, you know what, like...
I hope it's not at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, at least.
Going through somebody who's like completely lonely and needs this, like, like I'm a little lonely. Like I also am hungry for a burger too.
Yeah, I mean, people got to get their fix in somehow, and some people are really attracted to strip clubs, and I guess it's a way for them to keep supporting local businesses.
So they're also. They're also, I'm just looking on their Facebook page. There also is a, one of their promotions was a strip karaoke, stripioke.
Okay.
So it literally is sexy dancers strip while you try to sing karaoke from your car. So drive-through karaoke while there's stripping going on.
That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Because why would you? Yeah, that doesn't seem like that would go well together.
Yeah.
I don't think any of this goes well. Nothing really goes well with a drive-through strip club. But
I'm also looking at the Daddy Burger, man. They have a picture of it. It looks pretty nice.
looks pretty sexy.
It looks pretty sexy. Like, listen, if I'm going for a burger and I see this Lucky Devil Lounge, I'd have to probably go through the drive-thru, but then just keep driving on because I wouldn't want the show.
No. Yeah, just the food, please.
Just the food, please.
Oh, man. The things COVID-19 has made us do.
I'm just so surprised that the fact that this strip club, and I guess I feel like a lot of strip clubs now offer food. I feel like it's another thing that they're enticing individuals to come in and, like, enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, people got to eat. They got to eat something.
Matt Summers, 2020. People got to eat.
Yeah, that's my slogan.
Oh, gosh, Matt, I could see you being an owner of a strip club and be like,
No,
well, people got to eat.
Again, Mom, no. Will not be owning a strip club.
This is why I handle the entertainment portion, because it can get all helter-kelter. So.
Oh, man.
Well, that's enough stripping down some of these topics for today. But when we come back, Matt has some of the entertainment topics. You don't want to miss these fantastic stories and combinations. We're going to come up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
Matt, can you believe we're finally doing a podcast?
I know, I've been so excited to start one, but it seemed so easy for us to get started.
Actually, Matt, it was really easy. It was all because of Anchor.
Anchor?
Yes, Anchor. Anchor is by far the easiest way to get a podcast started. Anchor is free to anyone that wants to start a podcast. It's easy for beginners with the creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. We also have it nice that Anchor does all the work in distributing our podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Matt, we can even make money from our podcast.
Did you say money?
Yes, you heard me right, Matt. Money. We can make it with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Wow, I might want to start another podcast on my own soon.
That sounds like a great idea, Matt. You could do it today by downloading the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is anchor.fm. Now back to the podcast.
All right, let's slide right into the sports segments for today. We have one news article that I'm going to get to first, and then we're going to have a little fun with the second segment. So the article that I want to focus on, last week, Deshaun Jackson, who is the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, he came out and said that if there's going to be no fans in the stadium, obviously on the broadcast it's going to be pretty quiet. So an idea that he had that a lot of people have been debating on if it would really work or not is to mic up every player on the field or even on the bench so that fans can hear the type of things that they say during the game. I don't feel too strongly about this, but I want to hear what you have to say about this first, Mike. So what their goal would be that they could highlight like a player for a play. So obviously you're not going to hear all 20 guys on the field at once, but they can like pick one guy for a play, and as the play is going on, they'll like hear him. And the other alternative that they had was to just pump in like fake crowd noise, which I think is the option they're going to go to. But I want to hear your take on having microphones on live players during games.
See, Matt, I think we have seen this already. It's definitely not something that, like, I don't want to say all players are mic'd up, but we certainly have seen maybe one or two individuals that are key to the game that have been mic'd up. I always throw it over to the NBA. Like, we always see Coach Pop always mic'd up. We always see some of the other players mic'd up. Like, there's always that time where individuals are told ahead of time, hey, we're going to mic you up. Like, don't say anything that's going to be stupid, or don't say anything that is going to be, not good for TV, for television. Matt, I think what you're uncomfortable about is if it's going to be live the entire time, like live mics, like all turned on as far as like the interactions that happen between that. If it's maybe more like selective, I think. Let's just say we go from quarterback to wide receiver. Quarterback calls out the plays, hikes it, throws it to the wide receiver gets a touchdown, and the mic is live with the wide receiver. I think there's got to be just, an emotion can't control everything, but I think having that kind of standard being like, hey, like, your mic's probably going to be live if something happens like this, or if you're throwing an emotion, like an emotional like taunt, or if you're like totally amped up. Like, I feel like there's ways that they can go about doing it. It's just that the players are going to have some buy-in as far as like, well, I can't say anything that's not good for television. I can't say anything that's good for the FCC rules. I really think that there are ways that we can accomplish this, but again, I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on it as well, since you said you're not about it, but like you were curious about my thoughts first.
The only reason I'm not about it is because if you put a mic on players and they know it, they're not going to act like themselves. So people are going to be expecting to hear all this type of fun, like, banter between players. But if they know they have a microphone on, they're not going to say what they always say. It's like reality TV. Like, you're going to act different when there's a camera in front of you, when you know people are going to be seeing you. And if these players know that people are going to be hearing them, it's not going to be authentic. And I think the fans are going to be disappointed in a way, because it's not going to be what they think it is. Now, like you said, we did see, they do have players and coaches mic'd up on NBA, MLB games sometimes, and they'll show it for a commercial break. But even then, like, it's not the same because they know they have a mic on. I just feel like I would rather go with the pumping in the crowd noise if it's during the game or on the broadcast, because I don't think the fans, I think they're going to be disappointed. And I think I'm probably going to be one of those people. Like, if there's a guy that's really funny outside of the football and they show what he's been talking about during the game, I think we might be a little disappointed. I think there's a better option for the NFL out there than having all the players live mic'd.
I think we can say this is much better than the sex dolls being in the stands.
For sure. And you sent me a quick sidebar. You sent me an article, and they actually, in the Korean Baseball League, they put like stuffed animals in the crowd, which was much better.
Man, you saw SpongeBob, you saw
was
Pikachu, you saw...
Yeah.
SpongeBob knows people. That's
I guess he knows everybody. But yeah, I just feel like it's not going to be authentic, and it's not going to be what the league thinks it's going to be.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you, Matt, which is the idea that this is supposed to substitute what exactly this... it's supposed to substitute the fact that there's no fans there. I think I come back with the statement I said about the sex dolls in South Korea is in Seoul, not Seoul, Seoul. You heard me right. Seoul. One of our listeners was texting Matt about how horrible I was. Seoul. Got really deep there. The fact that, why don't you just play the game? Because that's the reason why we need sports. That's the reason why the NBA came to the decision of playing all their games in Florida, playing a very compressed schedule. Like, there's a reason why sports need to come back. Because with this whole coronavirus thing, you never know. You could get strip clubs that are offered drive-through service now. Like, I just think there needs to be some type of normalcy. And I feel like for the players and the coaches and the organizations and the teams and, what have you that make the team what they are, I really think there could be a lot of better things. I feel like there could be a little bit more coverage from, statisticians, maybe ex-players. I know you're kind of bringing in a little bit more people, but with the power of technology, man, I mean, NASCAR ran its first race without fans and, very limited on the track. Like, there's a lot of things that we could do now in 2020 that we couldn't do 20 years ago. And I really feel like there needs to be a little bit more of a thought process instead of like, oh, let's just do this. And I think that's Deshaun Jackson's. I don't think, we never had the chance to talk to him or speak with him or know his thought process, but I really didn't think he thought that long enough as far as like, oh, let's just put a mic on everybody. Like, okay, so from a production standpoint, what types of mics are not going to break easily? What types of mics are going to have the radio frequencies that are going to allow you to be able to control from the soundboard? And really, how can you incorporate that in the game? Let's say someone does slip up and drops an F-bomb or drops something that we really don't want to hear on TV. Are we going to have to bleep out 10 seconds of just like, all right, we're just going to hit the bleep. We're going to hit the censor button for 10 seconds when somebody scores. But I think we're really seeing those things being out as far as I think teams just need to sit down and think a little bit more and kind of propose some things to production teams. And, because ideally, I mean, I've talked to some people who are actually our production teams. One actually doing the Super Bowl is they are so innovative and just amazing at the job. I feel like you give that opportunity and power to those individuals that run the show, I think you're really going to have a little bit more bigger expectation, a little bit more better results than having players' opinions coming out and saying, let's just pump fan music, or let's just pump the mics, or let's hook up the mics. Like, I think there's a little bit more thought process to it, but I don't think the players, as much as the game is involved with the players, I don't think the players should be making those decisions as far as presentation-wise.
I agree, and his response got mixed reviews from people in the media and even own players. Some players just won't feel comfortable with the mic, but there's a chance that they might not need any of this. I mean, the PGA Tour is coming back this week, and in a few months they might start having fans. So once we get around to like September, I'm not saying stadiums are going to be packed, but there might be 15,000 people at a game. Like the Miami Dolphins are already planning to just allow in 15,000 in their stadium, so they'll space people out. So we might have an opportunity where we have fans in stadiums, but hopefully
so about the same size as what they get on a regular season without COVID restrictions.
Yeah, pretty much, except they're going to sit 6 feet from each other. But I think it's an interesting idea, and obviously there's probably some better ones out there. But it's interesting to see the players' opinions on this stuff, because while it might not directly affect them on the field, having a microphone could alter some things that we don't know about.
Absolutely.
And I brought up PGA Tour. Let's move on to the next segment. We're going to be talking a little bit of golf, but it's going to be a fun segment. So I have been golfing a lot during quarantine. My golf game's actually been improving a lot. Golfing on vacation this week actually is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, where are you going golfing?
There's a golf club or a golf course 30 minutes away. It's supposed to be a beautiful place, right near the bay and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to hit it in the water 50 times, but it'll be worth it just to
I thought you said you were
views.
improving, Matt.
I was, but just because it's a nice course, I'll probably play bad. But it's golf is a fun sport to play because you get to play it with people that you enjoy playing with. So I thought what we'd do for this segment is we would each come up with our ideal foursome. So for those who don't know, usually in golf, if you just go out with buddies, you golf in a group of four. 4 is the max. And it's
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
actually,
4 is the max. Yep.
Huh.
Usually it's either 2 players or 4 players.
So it's
that's
a twosome and a foursome.
Twosome and a foursome. Correct. Yep.
No threesome.
You can, but the twosome and a foursome is more common. We'll go with that. So what I thought we would do today is we would pick our ideal foursome to golf with. So the only rule that I had was we can only pick one pro golfer. So it could be anybody in the world that we want to golf with. It could be a celebrity, a friend, family member, anything. But the only rule is we can only have one pro golfer. So Mike, I don't know if you wanted to go first with your list, and then I'll follow up.
I feel like what would be more interesting, Matt, is if we said our pro golfer first.
Okay.
I feel like we could say it at the same time.
I don't think so. I don't think this is
I don't know. I'm feeling a little confident. So I feel like we can
We want to try it.
Yeah. So
right.
so I'll go 1, 2, 3, name.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Phil
Tiger.
Mickelson.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Phil Mickelson.
Yeah. The only reason I'm picking Phil Mickelson, and I love Tiger. Tiger is my favorite golfer. But I'm picking Phil because Phil will be more fun to golf with because he talks a lot more. He did in the celebrity match they had with him and Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. And also, I'm a left-handed golfer. Phil's a left-handed golfer, and I could learn some tricks along the way. That's really the only reason I'm picking him over Tiger. Yeah.
I think just by, I don't know. I feel like, I know Tiger probably won't be the most sociable, but I feel like you can learn from him the most. Same with Phil Mickelson, too, for crying out loud. But, just the fact that, he'd be so focused on playing that literally just sitting there and watching Tiger, like, and you're watching Tiger Woods, everybody. Like, you're just sitting there on the golf cart, and, you know, I mean, heck, you're probably carrying his clubs for all we know, because that's just how we are with, you know, Tiger Woods. But,
Yeah.
you know, I think, I guess, Matt, what you're more taking it from the professional standpoint and, like, you being a better golfer. My next two are literally going to be, my next one.
You
No,
can
my
you can
next
do
two.
both. Yeah, do both.
My next two,
Yep.
because me included, 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
4. Yeah, that counts as 4. Is just more.
Math
I
can be
do
tricky.
Math, everybody.
Math can be tricky.
I have 2 college degrees and I can do math. Simple math. I just feel like for Tiger, like, just to experience a golf setting, just to have Tiger as your foursome, like, I just think it'd just be great.
It would be awesome just to watch him play around the golf. I mean, it's like one of my dreams. But, you know, to me, it was a toss-up between the two. It's a tough choice. But who do you I'll let you go first. Who are your next 2 choices?
I'll pick. I'll throw one because I feel like that's gonna be great. Like throwing one at each other.
Okay.
My next one would be ideally Michael Jordan. Just because watching the Last Dance documentary and again how competitive he is, but how much trash talking he does to you. And, you know, I wouldn't have the bucks nor the wallet to supply his betting with golf, but, you know, having 2 goats and a foursome, I mean 3 goats if you're counting me, actually, but just having that, like, it's more of the experience and just having Michael and, you know, not only having the golf perspective, but also basketball perspective, like, I'd be fangirling the whole entire time.
I thought of that one too. The only thing is, it doesn't matter if you don't have the facilities for that big man, or if you do, you're betting if you golf with Michael Jordan. Like, he does not golf and not bet, but it's a good choice. I mean, just to pick his brain for like 3.5 hours would be awesome.
Yeah.
My first celebrity that I would pick, it's someone that I actually also know that golfs, is Justin Timberlake.
That'd be great.
So he's a pretty good golfer too. I've seen him play in some celebrity programs on TV. And he would just be a fun guy to golf with. I feel like he'd just, you know, knock a few beers back with you and, you know, just talk about life and his experiences for like 3 hours. I just think it'd be a pretty... I don't think it's one that people necessarily think of because they might not know that he golfs, but he's actually a pretty good golfer.
Bringing some sexy back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I could tell him I danced to his song.
We danced to his song.
I don't think he wants to know that, but...
No, I think... I mean... We have seen Justin Timberlake. You know, I feel like we don't necessarily see artists have their face, I'll say. Like, you know, you don't really see their face as far as like who they are as a person. And I feel like between the interviews with Jimmy Fallon and just some of the things that he's experienced, like he's really interactive. I don't know if anybody sees Hot Ones with Sean Evans. I highly recommend watching it because you really get an in-depth look. Sean Evans, who I think should be the next late night host, Tonight Show host, whoever that is, super fantastic. Maybe we should try to get him on the show.
Absolutely.
Be a total shot in the dark, but hey, you know, we bring some wings, some hot sauce. Like you drink. Oh my God, could you imagine drinking hot sauce? But you have, I feel like they do 10 wings, 8 wings or 10 wings. I forget. I have to look. And each hot sauce varies by Scoville level. Oh. And the questions get hotter as they go through. He's had people like Weird Al, Shaq. Shaq's been on it. Shaq is a hilarious one. The Joe Bros. Who else has he had on? John Boyega, Finn from Star Wars. So many celebrities. Justin Timberlake being one of them, and just like his personality, like brings out on him. And like I feel like to me when I listen to JT, like you hear his personality transpire through his music. And having that, like, it'd be cool. I gotta send you that one with Justin Timberlake, because that'd be really cool to just take a look at. But yeah, Justin Timberlake, what a great addition. So,
who do you have for your final pick in your foursome?
Who would you? Okay, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Who would you be?
You want me to answer first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also have another former NBA player, but not for the reason you might think. It is Charles Barkley.
Oh my God.
Solely because, one, he will be fun to talk to, but two, I can guarantee I will have a better score than Charles Barkley. Guarantee, because he is probably the worst golfer out there. He actually fixed his swing a little bit. He's still pretty bad, but I know in my heart that I could beat Charles Barkley in golf, and then I'd be able to say that I beat Charles Barkley in golf.
Don't they literally crap on him during NBA on TNT about how horrible he
Oh,
golfs?
he's so bad, like
Yeah.
bad. He knows he's bad too. Like he owns up to it.
That's good for owning up to it. A great basketball player, but
Yes.
some people should stick to their sport. And for what I've seen, like the videos of NBA on TNT, now it's TNT. Now that's coming back to my head. He really should just stick to basketball and basketball commentating because
that's the stuff he's great on NBA and TNT. He really is fantastic.
Golf is just
Golf not so much, but he probably just does it for fun because it's a fun sport to do. I'm gonna throw it back to you. Who do you got?
Well, you're a jackass because you didn't pick me, you little shit.
Okay. Well, that's true, but
Listen, I was gonna bring you on the team, but looks like I gotta find somebody else.
well, listen, this is a dream foursome. It's not every day you get to
Come
golf.
on.
We could golf any day of the week. It's not every day I get to golf with Charles Barkley and Justin Timberlake and
but
Phil
not
Mickelson.
Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan for crying out loud.
Those are good picks too. This is just my personal dream foursome.
Well, it looks like I have to pick somebody else, I guess. Wow. I'm very hurt, Matt. Wow, I brought up a really sappy topic last week, and I literally just got a nail to the heart, man.
He'll get over it. I ain't worried about it.
I guess I can, throw in. I guess I could throw in. You know who'd be really interesting to talk to?
Who?
And this is just something that came to my head. George Lucas.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
mean, like,
that's not a bad one.
I don't know if he's into golf. I mean, I'm sure he'd be okay to golf.
Yeah.
But just with George, for those who don't know or living under a rock, George Lucas created Star Wars. And for me, I mean, I get super emotional when I just like watch the commercials. Especially like, I think I've mentioned this before or earlier on in some of our podcasts, but like seeing commercials of people reacting to the initial trailer released at like their conventions. Oh my God, I get so emotional and so teared up. Like it's crazy,
awesome.
but it's fantastic. Or I could trade that out and I could have Mark Hamill in my foursome. So
That's also a good pick.
like, anybody from the Star Wars cast, like throwing in and out as far as that. But, I feel like for him, there's a lot of thought that went into the series, went into the saga. And, I've been like, during my time of quarantine, like, you really don't see a lot on TV anymore. People are taking breaks because of quarantine for YouTube videos and all that. So you really are not getting your adjustable amount of content within your given normal day or what it was before, because now we're kind of entering into a abnormal but sad normal time when we return to this normal of some I don't know.
If we ever return to normal,
If
who knows?
we ever return to
who
normal.
knows what the new normal is going to be?
Literally. But just for him, like going through that process and seeing exactly what made him want to do Star Wars, what reason being why 4, 5, 6 and not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like just seeing all those things. And I think for golfing, for what'd you say, like 4.5 hours?
Yeah, like 3.5, 4 hours.
Like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And like getting the chance, like if he was open to it, like just getting the chance and just like having conversations with him, big fan, would be interested to see what your thought process was. For somebody who content creates content for a living, which I'm proud to say, just kind of getting that background story and kind of that motivation to say, yeah, like I had a chance to talk with George Lucas and I know what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Like,
No, that's a good pick. It'd be interesting to see like how he first like had the idea to come up with it, and then like what motivated him to like actually do it. It would be a fascinating conversation to have over some birdies and some triple bogeys.
and how he golfs too. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
if he
But
can. So.
all the guys we mentioned definitely would be great golfing buddies, and just throw a couple beers back and hopefully golf well is the ultimate thing.
I mean, I'm not a decent golfer myself, so
Same. I suck,
it's just
but it's fun. It's fun at least.
I feel like, Matt, you would beat me in a round of golf, if I'm being completely honest.
Probably, but it still probably wouldn't be pretty.
Are you good at driving, chipping, or putting?
My strength is probably my irons and my chipping game. So I can, if I hit a good drive, I'll have a good hole. But that's probably very inconsistent. And putting, who knows what I'm doing with that.
Dude, the amount of mini golfing I've done in my time,
Oh.
I'm fantastic at putting.
I love mini golf. Well, you think it's the same, but in reality, it's really not.
I've done 9 holes with some of my family sometimes. I haven't done golfing in a while, and I know Matt and I are kind of like, yo, let's go golfing soon. And I'm like,
we're
I'm
going
totally down for it.
We're
going because you have lefty clubs, right?
I do. Yep.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about getting another set of clubs. We can just take turns using Matt's clubs.
Easy fix right there. That concludes the sports segments for today. It is time for Take It. Like the last few weeks, we've done food topics, and we are going to continue that this week. So last week was the cheesecake. Is it a pie or a cake? Which it is still a pie. The social media vote was actually pretty closer than I thought. But for this week, Mike, is it called a sub or is it called a hoagie?
It's quite the Jersey question.
Yes, but it's one that people get very upset about.
So give me some context, man. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, are we in New Jersey? Like, because we're already divide that time there.
No, but you just have what some people would call sub, what some people would call a hoagie. So let's just say like ham and cheese, for example, with
so if I get a ham
lettuce,
and cheese
tomato,
turkey,
whatever else, if you want sauce on it or whatever, what do you call it?
oh man, I feel like I'm more relating to the hoagie option, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay. I would probably go sub, mostly because it's called Subway.
And see, that's the only time I would call it a sub is when I'm at Subway. And that's why I was like, give me some context, man.
But what about Jersey Mike's Subs? 2 of the biggest sub chain restaurants in the country, and they both call it subs.
But let's look at it. Let's look at it this way, Matt. When we're looking at a sub, like you get that foot long.
Yep.
It looks like a submarine. Let's put it that way. Like it looks like a submarine.
Yes.
But when you actually have it, it's a hoagie. Like.
But you just said it looks like a submarine, so that's why they call it a sub.
But literally the entire bread, man, the entire foot long of an Italian roll, it looks like a submarine.
Yes, exactly. That's why they call it a sub.
But when you literally have a piece of it, I feel like it's a hoagie. And I just don't. I feel like if you had the entire foot long Italian bread, yes, I would call it a sub. But I feel like if you only have a piece of it, it's only a hoagie.
That's interesting logic. So you're saying as soon as you put in the ham and the cheese, it becomes a hoagie?
No, literally you take. So let's just say it's almost like. I'm not even going to try to come up with a comparison.
So you're just saying if you cut off a piece of a sub, it becomes a hoagie?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because, I said before, if you got the whole Italian bread, that whole entire thing, let's just say you made a sandwich out of that entire sub.
Yes.
Here I go, using those terminologies. You pick it up and you eat it from that.
Yes.
That's a sub. But I feel like if you pick off, let's say you start slicing it.
Okay.
I feel like people would say it more it's a hoagie rather than a sub. Like you put the entire, like, let's say you're serving it and you're serving the entire sandwich. Let's call it a sandwich now just to, be on the fence. Let's be Switzerland for once. You put the entire sandwich on the serving platter. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, this is the entire sandwich. Okay. It's a sub because you literally have all the meat, all the cheese, all the tomatoes, lettuce, onion, sauce. We're getting lost in the sauce here. And it's It's a sub. But that moment you cut a piece of that sub, it becomes a hoagie because it loses the shape of the submarine.
Okay, so let me throw this back at you. So when you cut off a slice of pizza, it's still pizza. Like just because you
slice, it's a slice,
but it's still pizza. Like a slice,
a slice.
It's a slice or a pie. It doesn't matter. It's still pizza. Like that's
okay.
What the
So
food
we're gonna
is
go
called.
in. We're gonna go into the whole. Is it a pizza pie or a pizza tray now? Are we talking Nipa talk
No,
here?
I'm just saying. Just because you cut it doesn't mean it's not still what it is. It's not like it's still a pizza. So it's still a sub.
I feel like, but pizza is just more notably known as a pizza rather than a sub. Like I feel like it's almost like, oh well, I'm gonna ride that submarine, but I'm gonna have are you gonna call it? Oh well, it's a hoagie. Like,
But if you cut anything, like if you cut a piece of chicken, it's still chicken. If you cut a slice of cheesecake, it's still a pie. Like.
Oh, don't even get me into shut up. Literally.
I wanted to throw that one in there. But just because you cut it doesn't make it not still a sub.
So let me ask you this, Matt, because now we're going on this whole cheesecake thing back again. Because I gotten some decent.
Let's forget the cheesecake.
No, let's go back on it because that's okay. So,
All right.
Ice cream cake. Remember I brought up ice cream cake?
I brought up ice cream cake, but yes.
Okay. Cake uses flour.
I said ice cream cake is different because you put frosting on it.
So why is it called a cake?
Because you have frosting on it.
Cheesecake can have frosting.
No, you don't put you put frosting on your cheesecake. You're a psychopath. You got mental problems, man.
You got mental problems. All right, rewinding back.
Yes.
All right.
So let me throw in the second question for the sub hoagie. Just like a side question.
Oh my god! I thought it was like you're doing another take it segment. on me?
No. It's just it's related. Is
Okay.
it a bun or is it a roll?
This is a Jenna thing that Jenna has asked. It's,
No.
I feel like I use it interchangeably, so like I can't like make a decision as far as like I can call it a hot dog bun or a hot dog roll, but I go to a restaurant, I'll have a multi-grain roll.
See, I would call it a roll because to me, like a cheeseburger bun is cut in half, so like it's actually separated.
You can cut a roll like that too.
You could, but like for a hot dog, you don't. Usually for a sub, you don't. Usually it's just split in the middle, but it's still connected.
You never ran out of hot dog buns and I said hot dog buns. You never ran out of hot dog buns and you had to use some actual like bread for sandwiches for your hot dog. Like it shows.
I maybe that's true, but it's a whole. I think it just depends on where you grew up too, because then there's people that call them heroes, and that's just.
Okay. Probably those people that are in the non-existent Central Jersey that say that.
Yeah, screw Central Jersey.
Screw Central Jersey.
You weirdos. so, but I think we can both agree it depends how you grow up, because I feel like there's something else that people would call it that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like sprinkles. Like sprinkles and jimmies.
Sprinkles and jimmies, pork roll, Taylor ham.
I've heard, Matt, sprinkles and jimmies. I've heard someone said, "Can I get a vanilla ice cream in a cup with ants?"
The hell are ants?
And
like
I'm
chocolate
like,
sprinkles.
I was like, ants? And they're like, yeah, like chocolate sprinkles. And I'm like, why didn't you say that in the first place?
Who the hell calls them ants?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I would've kicked
long
them
time
out.
ago
Like,
when I
get
was
out.
in. I was like, you want me to
man.
go outside and collect some ants for you, man? Like,
That's insane. I never heard of that.
yeah, I've heard ants before, and people look at me being like, really? I'm like, yeah, I've heard that before. It's
That's crazy.
oh my goodness.
So
yeah.
just to reiterate, so if it's a whole roll, it's a sub, but if you cut it up, it's a hoagie.
I guess I'm taking that stance. Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking
You
about.
know what? I guess I can agree with that. I can agree with that because you're not going to say, yeah. All right, we'll agree on this one. We'll come to this. Is the first take it. Breaking news. This is a moment in history. They will remember this for seconds after they listen to the episode that Mike and Matt have agreed to a Take It segment.
I mean, we kind of agreed in the very first episode, but then I got thinking about it. I'm like, well, I don't know.
We don't have time to get back into that discussion at all.
We literally, I can't wait till we have a sizzle reel of all of our Take It segments and like put them together.
It'd be too funny.
I feel like, I listened to a podcast that had some, like, they give out advice at the end, and like it got really well thought out advice. And now it's at the point where it's almost, I forget, it was like, I forget what it was. Get a tripod for your iPad so you can watch Grey's Anatomy in your bathtub. And I was like, how is that supposed to help me out in my life? Like,
sounds dangerous. What if the iPad like falls in?
Yeah, that was a question that was brought up.
Yeah,
but I have to talk about it, Matt. Before we go, I was listening to a same podcast that I was saying about the advice, and they brought up the topic and discussion of cheesecake.
Oh,
and
really?
when he was just like, he was going through, he's like, all right, guys, do you call? Is cheesecake? I'm like, shut the front door. I'm like, they're gonna ask the same question.
That's pretty funny. I didn't really think people had that discussion other than us, but apparently I was wrong.
I guess it's an internet debate, and I feel like we really bring up a lot of internet debates when it comes time for our Take It segment. So
pretty much how I roll with it.
But it's how I roll with all my entertainment topics. I'll look on the internet. Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, it looks fun.
Stripper drive-through.
Man with machete and broom sexual fantasies.
Broom fantasies.
Oh, man.
Well, it looks like today we are wrapping up with our episode. Looks like Matt is going to try to get some last-minute sun out on the beach. Let's go get away. Say what they gonna say.
Drink,
I can't
clink.
Just clink. For those who are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate us 5 stars. If you want to continue with this conversation, make sure you follow us on social media at Funny Business Entertainment on Instagram, at Funny Business EN on Twitter. And you can follow us on our Facebook page at Funny Business Entertainment. We do host these videos live on our YouTube page. Just search Funny Business, and we will be able to see our fantastic, gorgeous, handsome faces and our little settings that we have set up here. So make sure if you have that chance, go through there. And really, thanks for listening. Really, really. I mean, it's Matt. You and I are both looking at the numbers every time, and somehow it always goes up, and we're like, how is this happening?
Yeah, no, we appreciate the support that we've both been getting so far throughout this whole process. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun. So Until next time, guys, make sure you put on lots of sunscreen, because I certainly got sunburnt during last weekend.
You don't have to tell me about sunburn.
And make sure you wear your sunglasses if you're going to the beach.
Stay safe, everyone.